What's up? And welcome to the Hoof Live. We're back at it again in your living room, wherever you're watching, in your bathroom because you're hiding from the wife. That's how you get down. We're on your phone, we're on your tablet, we're on your computer, whatever you want to do, on your TV, however you want to do it. This is the Hoof Live. And we got a very special guest hailing from New York State, the Buffalo area, the very own Joe. Tonight, it's not the voice Joe Miller, it's Joe freaking Miller.
Yeah.
So apparently he's got something to say. He's feeling himself tonight. So
I've been Joe freaking Miller since college. So it's just and it's like it doesn't even I don't tell people that that's my nickname. It just ends up following me everywhere that I go. So I was like, you know what? No Joe Miller wired tonight. I'll bring out the actual persona, little Joe freaking Miller for you. Just because I saw how it went down last week, so I figured I'd come out like I'd set my boundaries early, right? So
bringing the energy tonight. You got it. You ready?
Yes.
You got to bring that fire when you're on the Hoof Live. You already know that.
I'm good.
If I were to call you anything, it'd be like effing Joe. You know,
like, wait,
effing Todd, effing Skyler.
I gotta get some advice on how to spice up a boring name. Like,
what's that?
I have a boring name, Eric Brown.
Well, yeah, you basic as hell, bro.
All right, Joe Miller, pretty
Joe
basic.
Dude,
Joe freaking Miller though, spice. Right? I need some advice on that.
Joe Miller. People say John Smith is the most common name in America. It's not. It's Joe Miller. I've lived on the same street with another Joe Miller twice in my life. Twice.
Eric Brown is number 3.
Let me tell you something. I ain't never seen a black Joe Miller. Never really. I'm just saying that's a white people's name, dog.
I'll look it up. I bet you find a bunch.
You might find one.
There's probably There's probably a Joe Sean out there.
No. Oh yeah, Joe Sean.
Joe Sean.
DeQuan Joe. DeQuan Sean Joe.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Hey, but it's all fun and games. Nobody gets a pass here. It's just the way it is. We got Anthony up there. Anthony, what's good, man?
What's up? Hey, I tell you what, I got a late Christmas gift in the mail. Hey-o. My mom shipped me some Josh's Jacks. How about that? Straight from Wegmans.
Mom for the win.
Nice, Mom. Way to go, Mom.
That was a hell of a plug.
Did she send you 2 boxes or just one?
Yeah, that's the thing. Just one. So I'm like, I guess I'm not opening it. I'm not touching it. That's the save pile now.
How many times can you say Josh Allen is in my mouth? I don't know. Look
Not
at Joe.
many.
Joe freaking Miller. Simmer down now, y'all. Simmer down now. We're just having fun. Simmer down now.
Sterling, you got the red cup tonight? What is the red cup?
We're talking about
I'm drinking.
Sterling's got the red cup tonight. I don't know.
So,
I'm drinking water.
You went broke buying wine.
Basic. So let me tell you, every time the Bills win, I come on with some wine. And tonight it's back to 19 crimes. I mean, because that's just what I do. So it's in the red cup tonight, as it's been the past few weeks.
Classy.
And I kind of tease Anthony's wife because she can't really have a beverage right now until she has the baby and breastfeeding and all that kind of stuff. So I let Kathy live through me, vicariously through me right now. And that's okay.
Yep.
And then we got Eric down there. Eric, what's up, dude? How you doing, man? What's going on?
Dream, baby. Living the dream.
Are you though?
The Bills have basically won the last 9 games out of 10. Yeah, I'm living the dream, man.
Okay.
Trying to enjoy the moment,
All right, that's fair enough. Fair enough. And before we even get into the show, I like to do my shout outs, but before we even do that, so I'm gonna tell you a little story about a good friend of ours. His name's Joe Miller. He's here on the show tonight. Pretty sure he got tickets to the Bills game. Didn't even say, "Hey, bro, you want to fly to Buffalo? Come kick it." Nothing like that.
Look, dude, there's a list, bro. There's a list. So I called Anthony. He wasn't available. I called Eric. He wasn't available. Spence was available. What do you want me to tell you?
So there's a tier of dude. Okay, I got you, bro. I got you. We
appreciate it, Joe. Yeah,
we got a super chat, and it's our guy. It's our guy, Brian Bowers, man.
Brian.
If y'all haven't watched the show from 2 weeks ago, we had Brian Bowers on. The dude, he's a brilliant guy, man. He always is keeping it real with us.
He needs his own show.
He needs his own show. He needs his own show for sure. I mean, we'd love to have him on all the time. But he says, "Yo, are y'all ready for this Bills win this weekend? Hope the Colts might be chilly." Yes, it's gonna be chilly. I'm taking bets on how many freaking and crap and god dang it that your boy Philip Rivers says, and maybe we can like beat them so he can like produce another child. I think that'll probably be like 15. So I mean, if that's how you get down, that's how you get down. At least his wife is putting out, so that's great. But whatever works. And look, Joe, stop making the faces, dog. You got like, God, PG-13, get out of here. All right,
off the rails tonight. He's got the energy already. Let's go.
I'm bringing it. So let's get some shout outs. My guy Charlie Gross is in the house, man.
What's up, Charlie?
And Charlie's fangirling over Joe Miller tonight. And that's okay.
Look at this face. Look at this face. I mean, come on, right?
Joe's
right?
cute. Joe's very cute. So we'll give him that.
For
the Buffalo Mayor's in the house. Sup, fellas? What's good?
Hey-o.
What's good? My guy, PJ Ty. What is good? How you doing? But there's other you guys in here, man, and we'll get to that. But before we even do that, let's pay our dues. We're on the Cover One Network. This is how you get the exclusive Hoof podcast, Hoof Live, and all the other Cover One gems that we give you. Our guy Nate Geary and Eric just did a fantastic job of breaking down Josh Allen's film like an hour ago. I would suggest you guys go check it out if you have some time. And we have a great lineup throughout the week. By all means, just do, because it's dope. Okay, like and subscribe. Hoof that like if you can.
Hoof that like.
We need the likes. Okay. Now look, when you like and subscribe, it definitely helps us. It helps us put out content. It frees us up to give us time to put more into this, and that's what it's all about. It's not just about getting on here talking crazy, but we really do try to give you informative knowledge, and so forth. So anything that you guys can want to contribute with the super chats, again, super chats, they do get displayed, as you saw with Brian Bowers showing us some love, but it's not because we want to take your money. It's because it really does help promote what we're trying to do. And that's for Joe Miller and all the guys that you see doing these kind of shows. It really does help. So, by all means, if you feel inclined to do so, do it. All right. So now it's time for the nitty gritty. Okay. So if you guys have never, there's always new people in here. We've had people from around the world come watch the show. What we like to do is I kind of come up with some topics of conversation. I don't let our guys know what's going on. So it's kind of off the cuff. We kind of put them, on the spot. I don't know what Joe's looking at down there, but there's no answers on his table. So, but that's just how we do it. And our show is, we have segments. We're the only Bills publication that has segments on the live show. And this is what we do. So yeah, that's how we cut our teeth. But anyways, with that being said, you guys ready? You guys ready for this?
Let's do it, baby.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Joe Judge. You know what? Hold on. Let me back that up, because let me do this right. What's popping? This is what's popping. This is the part where we go around the league for the latest and the greatest information. Okay, latest and the greatest, the hot topic news, right? And first on the docket today, like I just said, we got Joe Judge. Joe Judge's comments about the Eagles. Now, I don't know if you guys have watched the interview, but he came up there with some rah-rah, and we're not going to be like, these guys over here and all this stuff. And it sounds like to me that he's kind of crying, right?
A little bit.
I mean, you won, what, six games?
Six.
And I know it's 2021. You didn't catch me with the 2020. And everybody gets a trophy nowadays. But we're not giving you a trophy tonight, Mr. Joe Judge, because your team sucked. I don't want to hear about injuries. But before I get into anything, I got to say, I would like to start with Joe first, Anthony next, and then my guy Eric is going to close us out on that topic. So you're on the clock, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know that there's much more to say than what you said. I mean, you won 6 football games to literally. I mean, there's an aspect to it's hard because what he said was, we try to win every single football game. We don't disrespect ourselves or the game that way by not trying to win. It's like, bro, you won 6 games. You weren't trying very hard. I mean, talent or not, they've got decent football players on that team, and then to come out and just basically whine. I mean, it was I copied the tweet and did the whole whoever it was, like Kleenex, like handing him a box of Kleenex. I mean, it was just lame. For me, it's about the 6 wins. You won 6 games. You don't deserve to be anywhere. If anything, there should be a rule that if you don't win more than 8 games, somebody from another conference or another division gets your spot. Like, right? There should be no conference or division leader or division champion from your division. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, well, that division was epically bad this year, the worst we've ever seen. I mean, they've been bad for a few years now, but everybody was dogging us last year for playing the NFC East, and at least we beat Dallas at home when they were a good team, on Thanksgiving Day, and the rest. The team, every one of those teams got worse this year, and in a bad way. And for Joe Judge to come out saying stuff like that, dude, win another game. That's all it comes down to. Shut the hell up and win another game. Your fate was in the hands of another team. If the Buffalo Bills' fate was in the hands of the Miami Dolphins and the Miami Dolphins said, screw you, we're going to lose this game, guess what? That's not the Dolphins' fault. That's our fault for giving them that opportunity to do that. I'm sorry. You got to own it. Look, I get it. He's a young coach, and, they're a young team, and they had injuries this year, and it sucks for them. And they probably could have capitalized if they had Saquon all year, or if, their quarterback didn't go down for some of the games. But come on. What are you crying about, dude? It's over, man.
The thing you're missing, though, Anthony.
Get him, Eric. Get him.
There's a Cinderella story with this, right? Joe Judge grew up in Philadelphia, probably an Eagles fan.
Mm-hmm.
Could have won the game, could have won the division. Then the Giants play the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tom Brady plays the Giants again. That's a story. The Giants beat Tom Brady in the playoffs with a 6-10 record. Imagine that. But all of it goes away because,
I can't imagine that.
Well, let's not forget. But the 8-8 Giants won the Super Bowl, right? They were 8-8 the year they beat New England.
They weren't a 6-10 Giants. With no running back and no quarterback, no wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think I'm into that story though, because it would be a good one.
You guys are
Tom
missing.
Brady loses to the 6-10 Giants. Sign me up.
What about a cracked out Lawrence Taylor? Y'all forgot about him, didn't you?
Yeah, that brings me to my next topic, kids. Don't do crack. Anyways, the part that's getting missed in all of this conversation is who made it to the playoffs in the NFC East? Who made it?
Yeah,
Washington, right? And what was the record?
7-9,
baby.
And who was the last 7-9 team to make it to the playoffs to be the division champion?
It don't matter.
Carolina Panthers, both teams coached by who?
Ron Rivera, baby.
The luckiest man in the world. The luckiest. The Buffalo Bills were 7-9 a million times in 20 years and didn't make the playoffs once. Rivera's done it twice in like 5 years.
Hey, it must be nice to get 7 wins and get a division crown, dude. That's like sitting your team out half the season, but it's like, whatever, dude. Just go out there and fucking play. No plan of action. Just go.
He won
play.
9 and couldn't make the playoffs one year. Brutal out there. But this shows the weakness of the NFC, really, and even teams at the top, like Green Bay and New Orleans. Those teams got to play teams like the Giants and the Cowboys after all their injuries and all that. They're just so bad. The NFC cannot shine the shoes of the AFC this year, and it's not even close. So we'll see when it comes down to it, though. When it comes to the Super Bowl, hopefully the Bills are there. Whoever comes out of the NFC, we'll see.
So first of all, I didn't even know who Joe Judge was until he got hired by the Giants. Let's be honest. How many people knew who Joe Judge was? There's not many out there that can say they know who the guy was. And part of me is like, okay, yeah, like you coming out, you're like rah-rah for your guys and stuff. But at the end of the day, this is the NFL. This is the most competitive sports league out there. And the parity in this league is, it's the margin is slim.
Very.
And you got to come out, and you can't say, well, it's injuries, it's this. We have a young quarterback, it's that. Look, man, Dave Gettleman, and look, the onus is on him to put out the best team possible. And I understand this is a rookie head coach, but at the same time, man, what precedent are you setting in your locker room if you're kind of having this me kind of thing?
This was really his first major screw up as a head coach. He should have gone out there and said, you know what? Everything that could go wrong did for this team. Everything that could go wrong did. We lost our star in week 1. We lost our quarterback for multiple games. And you know what? We fought our way all the way to the end, and we were still in it in the end. And I'm proud of these guys. But no, that's not what he said. he came out and said, "Oh, it's Philly's fault that we're not there." Like, come on.
Yeah.
No, that's,
Right.
Like,
Could have admitted to the fact that the Giants
Yes.
were 0-7 on third down.
right. Oh,
I mean,
God, were they? Oh, man, that's bad.
Yeah.
Are you speaking facts, sir?
Oh,
Yeah. Whoa.
We don't do that here.
or Daniel Jones can't run 80 yards into the end zone without falling on his face.
That was amazing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
we're
next
gonna move
year.
on. Let's move on from the topic because we got more. So here we go. Most attractive head coaching vacancy. Now there are 6 vacancies currently in the NFL. So you guys are going to put on your GM hats for a minute. I'm going to start with you, Eric. Anthony, I'm going to go with you next. And my guy Joe down there drinking the water in his double Bills hat, rally hat.
There you go.
What?
It's
your
the
guys'
playoff hat.
Hey, the rally cap. He's going to be at the game, and we're not, and that's okay because that's how he rolls. But that's not the point tonight, guys. I'm going to make him feel so bad for not inviting me. That's just how we're going to do it. But putting your GM hats on,
I'm not gonna feel bad.
that's because you're heartless. Listen to Kanye. How could you be so heartless, sir?
It's possible.
Anyways, put your GM hat on for a minute, and what job would you want to take over first? What job?
That's the first one? Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one because a lot of different avenues you can go here.
There's only one job. There's
Well, I
only
mean,
one job.
Do you want the most cap space with 2 first rounders? I mean,
No,
cap
there's
space doesn't equal talent all the time, right?
There's one job.
Draft
There's one
picks
job.
don't
I don't
equal-
know. I think mine's going to be
Talent.
different than yours guys's. But yeah, which one do you
But
got?
I certainly think LA has the brightest
Wait.
future.
Wait, did the scientist just say yours, guys's?
Yours
You
guys.
did, didn't
Oh yeah, he just
Them guys is.
he just dropped the George Bush on us, just making up stuff.
Yeah.
He ain't
If
gotta be smart.
you're going by strategery, the job to take. No, I'm just kidding. There's only one job to take. It's the job with superstars on it, and their names are Herbert. Their name is Keenan Allen. Their name is Austin Eckler, Joey Bosa. That is the job. There is no other job to take.
I'll give you my opinion. If I were, say, Brian Daboll and looking for a head coaching job, I agree the Chargers is attractive, but I think the best job out there is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh my God!
And that's because you're getting the franchise quarterback. You know that in the draft
Really?
this year.
Which one?
Number what?
Which
what do you
one?
mean, which one?
Which
Still
one?
gotta show
Are
up,
you
right?
really?
If you're telling me that right now you're taking Trevor Lawrence over Justin Herbert,
I mean,
I don't
that's the
know, man.
consensus. I'd say that's the
what
general.
consensus? Herbert has a year of
Over
NFL
the last
football.
3 years.
Herbert has a year of NFL football under his belt, and he has thrown a crap ton of 300-yard football games. He is not Trevor Lawrence. He's better than Trevor Lawrence.
But still, this is why I picked the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Better.
The Chargers are might be in a better position to win now. I agree there, but if a coach is coming in, they want to mold it a little bit to their fashion. And I think
Sometimes.
this Jacksonville team has the best young roster. They've got young wide receivers. They got young defensive studs from first round pick after first round pick after first round pick. They need a good coach. They haven't had a good coach. They need a coach who can come in.
Are you taking
say,
Keenan
hey,
Allen?
look-
Keenan Allen or DJ Chark? Who you taking?
If I'm
man.
a young coach,
I do
mean,
like LaVisca, but I want a team that's already good, right? You only have 3 years as a coach. If you're not successful in 3 years, you're done. So, like
That team
LA, at the same time, you play Mahomes twice a year.
That team
exactly.
is ready.
So it doesn't matter.
Let's
You
not
know-
forget about the Texans, maybe Atlanta, right?
You go to
I
the
think-
playoffs twice a year against the Chiefs with the Chiefs in your division. So Sterles, a second ago, you told me that Trevor, you scoffed when I said that Herbert is better than Lawrence. Did you not watch that game against the Buckeyes, who are the consensus don't belong here team? The Buckeyes don't belong in the playoffs. They don't belong. And Trevor Lawrence was awful in that football game.
We cannot base it off that one performance because
He
Justin
didn't look
Herbert.
much.
Listen, Justin Herbert wasn't anything special at Oregon. Okay, because the Oregon staff they didn't know how to coach.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
But-
So let's give him a chance to get in the league. Just like when Joe Burrow had his run, I wasn't going to crown him. I said, let's get him in here and let's see what he does. Right.
What
But I
Judge
think,
did.
but to Anthony's point, I'm not agreeing with the Jaguars is the most attractive job. But to his point, it really does matter who you're going to. You can have first pick after first pick, and if you don't know how to develop, it doesn't mean shit. Right.
Right.
Now if Khan is talking about, he said today that he had his hand in personnel moves, and that does just sound so Ralph Wilson to me. Back in the day, Ralph Wilson just meddling with stuff. That's not good. That and potential head coaches, they don't want that. Look, head coaches and GMs like, look, let me do my job. This is what I do. Let me do it. So the fact that just that fact alone makes Jacksonville not the preferred destination if I'm a GM or or wanting to be a head coach. Now there's only 32 jobs, so somebody's going to take it, obviously. But there are certain that's what makes San Diego so attractive. Justin Herbert is pretty dang good.
Oh,
he's pretty good. And it sucks that he's going to have to learn a new offense, but he's young in his career. And hopefully whoever they hire.
Oh, he's Clay. Like he's totally Clay right now. Like
we're going to see. We're going to see. Because, I mean, Carson Wentz, the narrative has changed on that dude so quick. The NFL changes so much. And just in Buffalo Bills stuff that we talked about in the offseason, how much has it changed over the span of 4 months? Exactly.
In the Buffalo Bills, when we hired a new GM and a new coach first, and then the new GM to come and after, the weird situation with when he was hired, that they hired the coach first and then the GM. But Jacksonville, they're starting over with a GM and a coach. In LA, they already have a GM. They're only firing the coach. The expectation in LA, if you go 6-10 next year as a first-year head coach, guess what? You're a failure. If you go 6-10 in Jacksonville, they're going to praise you as, oh my God, this guy turned this franchise around in 1 year already.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
If you're a new head coach, and going to a job,
why is he still talking?
You have a 3-year plan.
We're all wanting to know. Right now.
Just like Sean McDermott when he came to the Bills, if you're a new head coach, you have a 3-year plan. Here's what we're doing year one. We're going to rebuild here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
Wait a second.
Jacksonville is the right place to make that rebuild.
Buffalo was a dumpster fire when McDermott got here.
Yes.
Buffalo's a dumpster fire. Yes, but if you're talking low-hanging fruit, you just literally said, I'm the guy that I can do as little as possible, look the best, and keep my job versus having a difficult job and trying to meet the expectation and excelling. That's what you just said. Not to mention, I would challenge the fact that the lowest hanging fruit are the Chargers. That team is ready to win right now.
Yes.
Right. They're ready to win 10 games right now.
Anthony's defense.
Anthony Lynn is the reason that team did not win 10 games.
Okay, hold on. Anthony, hold on. Let me get this in. How many times have we said this about the Chargers, though? They're one of the best rosters in the league, and they don't do nothing.
How long? Well, first of all, Phillip Rivers is a playoff choke artist, is he not? And Anthony Lynn has been there for what, 3 or 4 years? 3 or 4 years?
How many times? You go back to Sean Merriman, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Here's the question. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess the question you want to ask yourself is how bad is Anthony Lynn when he didn't have Phillip Rivers to bail him out this year?
What?
Right?
Phillip Rivers wasn't that good when Anthony Lynn.
But they won games. But they won football games.
Rookie quarterback as well.
Right, but they won.
Was their priority.
Anthony Lynn is the reason that football team did not win 10 football games.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who Dable going to that team would turn them around instantly. I feel like with his concepts. I feel like they're good. They're that good. Look at around. I mean, the defense is solid. Joey Bosa is a superstar. Your quarterback had arguably the best rookie season of a quarterback in the last 10 years. So you got something going on there. But nobody's talking about the Texans, and that's surprising me because Deshaun Watson had a great year.
Yes.
He's at the top of his game. I know there's a lot to rebuild there, but that's got to be intriguing. That's got to be in the conversation.
So the same thing can be said. The same thing can also be said about the Texans and the Jacksonville job. That division is up for grabs. Tennessee is good now, but who knows how much longer they're going to have a dominant running back, like Henry, who, running backs fall apart after a while, and they don't just gradually fall apart. They fall off a cliff. So Who knows? He might not be the same guy next year. That division is wide open. I don't think Tannehill is carrying that team. He's a very much a substitute quarterback who is good in a position where he's not the focus of the offense. So, and I agree that the same thing could be said for the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson. You have the guy there, put the other pieces around him. Although the problem with them is they don't have a first-round pick this year, and they've been destroyed much further than Jacksonville has at this point because Jacksonville still has the picks and the ability to start where you want to as a new head coach and rebuild it from there. And God knows, like I said, with that 3-year plan, either of those teams, and I'm more confident with the roster that Jacksonville has and the asset that Jacksonville has right now, that they could be the division winners consistently in the next 3 years.
You make a good point.
And you are a gambler. That's a gambler's pick.
No, it is. But he's got a good point. He's got a good point because that team's more moldable, if you will, and they have a lot of draft capital coming. So, what GM is not going to be like, I can make something out of that, right? There's GMs. Hold on, just let me finish. I'm not saying that I will pick it, but somebody's going to take it. Somebody's
going to take the Jets job too.
It's like the girl nobody look. It's like it's like going to prom and you got three that you could do, right? One's crazy and she's super hot. The other one is like she's middle of the road girl next door, and then you got the one she ain't all that, but you're gonna have a great time. Okay, which one are you gonna choose?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing
you got to make.
Here's the thing. Somebody said, "Hey, Brian." Brian went, "Yeah." The Jets are on the phone. They want to interview. He said, "Tell them I'm in the bathroom." Yeah. So that's the first thing. The Jets are gonna get a coach regardless. The problem with the Jaguars team is ownership is the first problem. But that Houston Texans, at least they've got a quarterback and Laramie Tunsil. They've got a quarterback and Laramie Tunsil. That's what they've got. At the end of the day, the biggest thing, and you hear every coach, every GM, everybody talk about it when it comes to building a team or starting a team over, got to find your quarterback. Guess what? The Chargers have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what you said it right, Sturls. Let's let the kid play first as far as Trevor Lawrence goes. I don't think he's going to be good in the NFL. He doesn't look like Joe Burrow to me. Like that's just how I feel. And I'm not saying I'm a prognosticator or that I'm right. I just don't see him as being like the next great thing.
There's certainly a risk, right? Same thing with Tua. Right?
There's the margin of risk with you're a scientist. The margin of risk with Herbert is way smaller. Way smaller.
Yeah, and he has a body of work. He has a body of work, but no one was saying that pre-draft about Justin Herbert.
Correct.
Right. So all I'm saying is, we gotta give these guys a chance.
Well, what happens if Fields ends up being the quarterback out of this draft class and he goes to the Jets, right?
Now,
He's the Justin Herbert of this class, right?
How many Ohio State quarterbacks can we say that are
talk about it
good in the NFL?
I agree. I don't think he is going to be, but it's a coin flip.
This is the number. When I moved to Columbus. When I moved to Columbus, Ohio in 2005, Troy Smith was the quarterback. And when he went to the NFL, before the draft happened, the arguments I would get in with Buckeye fans about Troy Smith is going to be the next great NFL quarterback. And I'm like, he's not even going to get drafted. He did late, but then he just totally how many quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. So you were going there, Sturls, and I'll let you finish your point. The thing that I hate about the thing that's difficult for me with college football, and I know a lot of people love college football, and more power to you. The problem that I have is I'm from Buffalo. The only real connection I've ever had to college football is UB, and that wasn't even really a connection. So then I moved to Columbus, Ohio, where it's like the New England Patriots of college football, right? And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like I get to follow a winning team for a change. I watch it. It's quarterback to the right, quarterback to the left, quarterback up the middle, quarterback to the right, quarterback to the left, quarterback up the middle. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. This is crap every single year. Right? Isn't that what you said? The system? Talk about the system.
Okay, so it's been the same. It's been the same thing. All Urban Meyer offenses, they're going to get 4- and 5-star recruits, and you're in a hotbed in Ohio with some of the best athletes in the country. Okay, and a lot of their offense is very simple. It's a power spread. Okay, and it's a lot of crossers. Okay, Dwayne Haskins made a first-round pick out of Dwayne Haskins because he's doing crossers all day and deep routes. I mean, nines and post routes. I mean, that's what their offense is made of. And you have dynamite running backs, not just one, but 2 and 3, and it doesn't end. So that type of consistency, along with Urban Meyer's coaching, that's going to lead to, look at Alex Smith. Alex Smith was the number 1 overall pick out of Utah. He is okay, right?
Yep.
Someone say he's good-ish, but he's not like I gotta have Alex Smith, right? We can all agree to that, and that's kind of the thing with Ohio State and the Urban Meyer tree is that
it wasn't just Herb; it was Tressel before him.
It was the system.
It was Jim Tressel before him.
Terry McLaurin is another example. Wide receiver. How many people knew who Terry McLaurin was pre-draft? I mean, I knew him because I'm a Michigan fan, obviously.
Right.
But knew how good he actually was because their offense didn't show that. I mean, they had so many different pieces on. I'm trying to say, but
you know who doesn't have a head coaching vacancy? Michigan.
because we suck. We suck.
That's funny right there.
All day, every day.
Sterling's a Michigan
We
fan.
suck.
So my wife is an OSU grad, and both my daughters were born at OSU Hospital. We don't use the word Michigan in my home.
Oh, stop it. Well, hey, I wanted to bring this up because Cole, look, man, he says Sterling is a friend that your wife say, do you really agree with that? The fact that I'm in your head rent free makes me happy. I'm gonna throw out BS and just little cookies to you just to get you a little riled up. Because you know what? Some of the stuff you're gonna agree with it, I say, even though it might be a little cray.
Well, we were talking about Urban Meyer, and we were talking about these vacancies, these head coaching jobs. I mean, as of right now, the rumor is the Jaguars' job is his if he wants it, but he's asking for $12 million a year, which seems insane, but apparently there's a few coaches making at least that much. So I don't know if I'm Brian Daboll, which I think is where we're going with this conversation. So I don't know if that's your next question, Sterling, but
yeah.
Where would Brian Daboll go? I would, if I was Brian Daboll, I would choose the Jaguars and the Chargers have to be the top two in that order for me, at least. But it looks more likely that the Chargers job is going to be available if Urban Meyer wants and takes the Jaguars job.
Do any of these people human? And I get it. There's only one. You want to be one of 32, right? I want to be one of 32. Or do you go the route that the schmuck offensive coordinator up in New England goes or is going now? It's like, no, I just want to stay with the winning franchise. Because why would you want to go someplace that's going to destroy your career, whether it's Jacksonville or the Jets or the Lions? Like these programs are never going to get turned around.
Yeah, but $10 million a year, that's why.
I mean, the Bills at least had a history of winning. You know, they were the 64 AFL champions. You know, I mean, like there's obviously the 90s runs. They've been good. So it's not, but I'm talking about teams that have like never won, never even like rarely sniffed a play. Like, why would anybody go to these teams? Why would anybody go to the Jacksonville Jaguars to play in Europe every year? Like,
there's only 32 of the jobs. You really like Daboll's shot is this year, right? He just gets to pick from what's available. He's actually lucky. There's a lot of jobs available.
Well, I think that's I would take the opposite opinion on that. I think it's Daboll's job to choose. Say he doesn't get Jacksonville or the Chargers, and they offer him the Jets job.
He's got to be a top candidate.
Thanks. Sure. I'm holding on for next year.
Yeah,
so
he's holding on for next year.
Back to your Josh McDaniels point.
Hold on.
Real quick.
My guy Greg, this is the homie Greg, okay? He makes a great point. Daboll did work with Tom Telesco in high school, so they have a relationship. And if you're a young head coach and you've never been a head coach before, you want to go into a situation where, one, you got a pretty damn good quarterback, and you're going to have a grace to learn and to cut your teeth. That's probably the best job for Brian Daboll. And if they don't hire him, there is a big problem because Herbert has probably just as much ceiling, or I mean, close to than Josh Allen right now. That's an attractive job, and I think Daboll's a shoo-in for that. But we ain't gonna go there. We're gonna have to kidnap Daboll. But that's enough coach speak for now.
Wait! I want to ask one question. Go ahead. This is my question. So I just did the joke of the Jets are on the phone, telling them I'm in the bathroom, right, crapping my brains out, like anything to turn them off and get them away from me. So basically what he was saying is with the 6 weeks or 6 days, 6-day work week to get to the next game, short week for us, I don't want to do any interviews is what he said. What if the Chargers called him this week? Or do you think like they already know not to call him till next week when they've got 8 days?
So here's the deal. I don't think Brian Daboll is going to entertain that right now. I think there'll be underhanded conversations because you have to say that. But he's in a position where you have one of the budding stars in the league, and everything you do from now on makes you more attractive. So let's say you do get into a situation with the Chargers and maybe there's some things that you're not sure about. Maybe the leadership style and you're not really feeling it. You do have Josh Allen and probably you might just make it to the AFC Championship or even win a Super Bowl. So those are kind of resume builders you want under your belt.
Sure.
So I don't think he's going to make a decision, but I guarantee you there is some under the table conversations that are already been had because Tom Telesco, that's his homie. Joe, if you were doing some great shit or any of you guys, I'd be like, hey dog, you already know. Hey, I'm trying to get tickets to the Buffalo game. This dude he ain't trying to hear me. I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? So don't tell me you ain't gonna be like, hey bro, like,
it sounds
off
like
the record.
It sounds like collusion.
I'm just saying.
We know that.
There's a lot of collusion in the NFL.
Are the teams willing to wait, though, right? If the Bills make the Super
That
Bowl.
was my point. That was my point.
That was my point. Right?
Yeah. Because
teams aren't willing to wait normally. I mean, there's been a few cases, but
the Chargers haven't asked for permission to talk to anybody, and I just wonder if a text message got sent. Hey, hit me up next week.
Exactly.
This ain't college football, though.
He texted him. It was a text at midnight that said, "You up?" You know, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Hey with the two Y's. Hey.
Hey, it's after 10. I'm just saying.
Hey, ball, you up?
This ain't college though, so you don't have a recruiting period that you have to go through. And if you believe that there's your guy, just like that, if your quarterback is there, you go get him. If your head coach is there, you wait and you go get him. I mean, the Chargers have been doing this circus for.
But I don't want to discredit the interview process because I do think there's something to be said for somebody who interviews well.
Sean McDermott.
Exactly, Sean McDermott, who when he was hired, most of us were like, the fuck, right? Like, who? You hired this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right. Good. But I'll give the second example is Rex Ryan, right? Rex Ryan's a guy who comes in and blows your mind because he's got all this energy and he sounds real good, and then he sucks at the job. But that's the point. When somebody comes in and you believe what they're saying, and if they bring in a guy like Bieniemy or something and he blows them away, they're going to say, you know what? Daboll's not here until February. You're hired, man. We love you. We want you here now. Let's do this.
There's also something to be said for alma maters and like the fact that the current GM went to St. Franny here in the South Towns, Hamburg, where I live, and so did Daboll. But that doesn't necessarily, for those of us that played sports growing up in high school, and I'm going to say us three, not sure about you, Anthony, but the reality is even though you're on a team with somebody, it doesn't mean you're friends with somebody. There's a good chance they played together for 1 year of football. There's a good chance that they weren't friends, that they didn't like each other when they're on that team. So I think there's a great deal of conjecture when it's like, oh no, these guys are best friends. They both went to St. Francis. Well, that doesn't mean they liked each other. So it very well could be Bieniemy.
They probably like each other. They like each other.
Daboll looks like a great dude.
You just say that because you were on the bill. Shut up. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next one. So now we're going to break into our Bills content. I know you guys been waiting to hear, but this is the Inside Slant, folks. This is where we talk about all our Bills content. If you want to throw stuff in there, we're going to give you our opinions on the latest, what's happening in the below. And first things first, the Shout song has been redone, and I love it.
What?
I love it.
I haven't heard it.
What are you talking about?
Is it written by Sterling?
No. Look, I know y'all know me as Big Daddy. Okay.
Is there a music video? Is there a music video?
You know what? Stay tuned, and I might do a little something for y'all. Might
about to break down into a montage.
Little vocals for you. But Benny the Butcher came out with a more updated version of the Shout song, and if you haven't heard it, just look up Benny the Butcher or go to the Bills Twitter page. I don't know if it's on their website or not, but you will hear the clip of the new Shout song, and it sounds way better. I mean, I know there's something with nostalgia and being with tradition, but that song is way better than what we have now, and it's current. Okay? It's current, and I love that.
We have one of the best celebration songs of any team I've ever. Some of the other teams I hear theirs, and I'm like, that's your celebration song?
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Number one. Miami Dolphins.
Even the Eagles with their Fly Eagles Fly. I'm like, that's your okay. I mean, I guess.
Fly Eagles Fly is kind of cool.
But it's not like ours is still better. The Shout song is still way better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm skeptical of this new Shout song, so I'll have to check it out after.
The worst one is the Dolphins one, which also was the exact same one as the Oilers, and it's just the nasally Miami Dolphins. It's just awful. So.
Listen,
and if you're carnival ride,
I mean, let's talk. I mean, if you want to go there, we could talk about the Dolphins. You're on some cocaine. Okay, anything in Miami comes with coke. I'm just telling you right now. Just But anyway, that song's a banger. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. It's a banger. It's a banger. But as we get into our Bills content tonight, fellas, now look, there is a lot to be said about tradition and things of old, right? And there was a conversation that sparked on Twitter, and it was: is this the best Bills roster / team ever fielded by the Buffalo Bills. And I wanted you guys' opinion. So, Anthony, we'll start with you.
Oh, I'm so glad this one starts with me because
of course you are.
In the beginning of the year, in the beginning of the season, to even consider this would have been blasphemy beyond belief from anybody, any Bills fan. I don't care if you're the biggest homer in the world. You would have never even considered saying this. But right now, as we go into the playoffs, as we look back on this 16-game season, this team is the best Buffalo Bills team that has ever been. And they have the backing to prove it. They've got Josh Allen with his record-setting passing yards. They've got Josh Allen with the record-setting touchdown. They've got Stephon Diggs with his record-setting catches and yardage. They've got Cole Beasley, who almost reached 1,000 yards and could have it probably if he didn't get injured for the last game. I mean, it goes on and on. If you think about the guys on offense, you think about Allen, Diggs, anybody, Dawkins, all them guys are probably going to be Bills legends the way we talk about the ones of old, right? And now you go to the defensive side and you've got leaders on defense like Trey White and Edmonds, and the list goes on. And these guys are stepping up in the role. And the same way we talk about the nostalgia of the guys that we love through both the drought and the Super Bowl years, we now talk about these guys. And I'll give you one more, the special teams. Look at our kicker, right? Our kicker, record-setting points.
Anthony, I love you.
That was such a good effort,
Look,
though.
I'm spitting facts here.
That was a great effort.
That was good.
The record for points.
You need an Oscar.
Punter, the best punting the Bills have seen. And this is, when you think even about punting. Special teams.
No, Brian Mormon was the best Bills punter.
Yes, I'm talking about.
Hold on. No. That guy.
Statistics.
Ever notice how a quiet summer
Crickets, man. Just stop.
I'm
Just
telling
stop.
you, man. No, I'm not. I'm just making the argument for why.
Anthony, how many members of this football team right now do you think are NFL Hall of Famers?
Potentially. We'll go potentially.
Well, on offense,
the fact that you couldn't start ripping them off is proof that you're wrong.
Well, on offense, you'd have to at least say Allen, Diggs, probably Deion Dawkins.
And
there you go.
Deion Dawkins.
Come on.
No, dude. Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, Jim Kelly.
He's Orlando Pace now.
Listen. This team is not better. The quarterback, when he finishes his career, is going to be better than Jim Kelly. He might be better than Jim Kelly was right now, which I know is a lot to say. This team is not better. The coaching staff is better than the coaching staff the 90s team had, especially on defense, because Walt Corey was not great. Yeah. Not great.
That coaching staff in the 90s got the 4 straight Super Bowls. You know how difficult that is?
But it's because of the players.
Man, they get so much credit for that. Well, just keeping those players motivated and together. And, I mean, they're blowing teams out a lot.
13-3 matches the best record the Bills had. 6-0 in the division for the first time ever. It's again, I'm not saying that
you got to win a playoff game first.
I'm not personally saying that I would choose this team, this roster over that roster in the 90s when we were going to the Super Bowl. But there is definitely an argument to be made in the favor of this being the best Bills teams ever. And again, statistically, the kicker set the points record, the punter set a record. All of the players, top to bottom, and I agree that most of it has to do with the coaching staff.
Somebody needs to get Greg
Thompson.
Greg Thompson, I know you've got admin rights. Just jump in here and tell him why and how like the NFL is different now, and those stats he's cherry picking are not like.
No, again, I'm not trying to say. I'm definitely not saying I want this roster over the Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, all them.
You said they were better. You said they were better.
This team is arguably.
You went as far as to say that our special teams now are better when freaking Steve Tasker was on that football team.
Yes.
And so was Mark Pike and a host of other guys.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's an argument to be made that this team
is
the
argument.
best. So when this team wins the Super Bowl, what do you say?
They got to win it first.
They got to win a playoff game.
We win a playoff game first. Look, I'm all about. Y'all know, like I am all about the new, what's shiny. Let's get it. There is something to be said about the 90s teams. The way that roster was constructed was masterful. Okay, they did it in an era where there was no free agency. That makes it a little bit harder on what they built. Okay, and the way the offense is played nowadays, back then it wasn't the same. You really had to work and grind for every inch on offense, every yard. It was different. Ask Jerry Rice. I mean, Jerry Rice, he'll tell you that shit wasn't easy. But there is something to say about what's going on right now. And I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. There is a place for those 90s Bills, right? But I think now if you say, dude, this Bills team right now has the potential to outperform them, absolutely they do. But it's going to be harder because there's a salary cap and there's free agency and so forth. It just depends on how good our GM, Brandon Beane, and those guys, how they bring in new players. But the 90s team, there's a reason that they went to 4 Super Bowls, right? There's a reason. So we got to give them that. Now, we, on the other hand, right now, those of us who are in our 30s who got a little glimpse of what the 90s was about, we got to win a damn playoff game.
Yes,
we got to show that we're real, okay? And I got a little something for you. So the last 5 Bills playoff games, the Bills have averaged 16.4 points a game, ranging back to 1996. I don't know where you guys were, but I was only 13 years old. Now Joe Miller's probably 40 at that time, but I was only 13, dog.
That's Mr. Miller to you.
Yeah, Mr. Miller, guys. But hey, we have a super chat. So first of all, John DeFazio, that's an awesome last name, by the way. Great show, fellas. Pump the brakes, bro. Comparing the 90s team. Yeah, I'm feeling this team, but I seen and met those guys in the 90s. They were magical. So apparently, well, first of all, thank you for watching the show and thank you for supporting us. We really do appreciate it. And without those kind of contributions, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So we appreciate it. But now we're gonna attack this. So Eric, I'm gonna give you the opportunity. I'm gonna give you the floor to he's talking about like the 90s team was Willy Wonka, okay? And he's passing out golden tickets.
Come on, don't
what are your
put me
thoughts
at
on
that
that?
extreme.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a different game. It's hard to compare. You'd have to talk to a guy like Joe, who's been there. Like just the feeling. What did his team overcome? The details, like the big moments during the season. I mean, all that stuff matters. But the evidence for me, it's in the records, right? 13-3, 2 seasons in a row, 11-5 the season after that. I mean, 4 straight Super Bowls. It just speaks for itself. 4 straight Super Bowls gets me, puts me over the top. And, we're not real sure what this team is yet for the Bills. Like 13-3 is great, but we got some playoff games to win.
So about 3 weeks ago on my show on the Overreaction podcast, I literally said, to answer your question, Eric, the difference between this football team, this was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, just to set the context, the difference between the way that we feel about this football team now and the way that it felt in the 90s was it didn't matter what the score was. It didn't matter what the team was playing like. It didn't matter what quarter it was. You knew that they were going to turn it on and come back and win. You just knew. It was almost like probably being a Patriots fan. You never had doubt. There was very, very rarely an occasion where we got taken to the woodshed and got it handed to us. And the funny thing is I remember those games, the Chiefs game in primetime with Christian Okoye, the Steelers game, but I also remember Jim Kelly throwing 3 interceptions in a row to open the game against the Bengals. And I think they scored 2 touchdowns and a field goal off of it, and we won that game. I remember them scoring 3 touchdowns in 90 seconds in Vegas or in Oakland against the Raiders. Like, you just knew. And 3 weeks ago, what I was saying is we're beginning to approach that time with this team where it's like, no. Like, if they're not playing well, and it happened this past weekend against the Dolphins, they were kind of having a little bit of a hard time figuring it out and trying to wonder what the Dolphins were doing on defense. The line was doing that amoeba thing, and Trent Green was loving talking about it. It was, oh, look, they're all over the place. You don't know who's going to drop out. Sure enough, 3-4 series in, Allen's got to figure it out. He's throwing darts all over the field, right? I mean, and that's literally, that was the feeling. You just knew. There was just a quiet, cold confidence. You knew they were coming back and going to win.
Well, that's like saying, you remember you watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and they dropped the to be continued at the end of the show.
I remember the first episode. Do you?
Of course, dog. That's my show, bro.
That was an age joke. I was talking about age.
No, I got you. But can we put something to bed real quick? And sure. I know people are going to roast me for this, but Josh Allen's better than Jim Kelly. Josh Allen is better than Jim Kelly.
They're different quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah.
It's look.
I'll say this in Jim Kelly's defense. In Jim Kelly's defense, you don't win one.
Hang on a second.
Jim Kelly had to get hit a lot harder than Josh Allen will ever get hit in the NFL.
Have you seen Josh
Allen come back
legs?
Year after year and game after game and do it? Jim Kelly is a hard-ass quarterback who can win.
Anthony's
Josh Allen is a talented. He's definitely more talented than Jim Kelly was.
It's
but
funny to
in
me.
terms of hard-nosed football, give me Jim Kelly all day long. But
What's funny?
talent-wise,
What's funny is
Josh had more than one good year first.
What's funny is the Bills go to 4 Super Bowls in a row, and before that, they went to the AFC Championship game and they got bounced to the second round of the playoffs, and they did well even after that. But they do all this. They're the winningest team in the 90s, and everybody's like, yeah, but look at the team around them. They had 9 Hall of Famers on that football team. And then when they talk about losing the Super Bowls, it's like, yeah, Jim Kelly couldn't close the deal. Like, well, what happened to the 9 Hall of Famers that were on the football field with him?
They don't say that about Montana. They don't say that about Brady. Now, there's something to be said about getting it done in the championship game. I don't care. Look.
How many Super Bowls has Brady lost? How many Super Bowls has Brady lost?
How many more than anybody has he been to? How many did Jim Kelly go to? He lost all 4.
It's true.
He lost all 4.
That's right.
So let's not look. Jim Kelly is not Jesus Christ, bro. Okay, my guy got some things.
You don't know that.
And everybody in Buffalo holds Jim Kelly.
Jump the shark. Jump the shark.
Jim Kelly ain't Simba, baby.
He was before Josh Allen showed up.
Josh Allen birthed the loins. I'm just telling you, dog. Josh Allen's that dude. I don't care.
Sterles, when did you become a Bills fan, Sterles? Because you're not from Buffalo.
I'm 1989.
Because you're not from Buffalo. Why did you become a Bills fan?
You want me to be completely honest?
Yes.
Because the Falcons were terrible, and there were no Tennessee Titans. Y'all know I'm from Tennessee. I'm a Southern boy at heart.
But what team did you watch and you went, holy shit, they're good. I like them.
The Bills.
And who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback?
Jim Kelly. But that's not right. They had great uniforms.
Stop.
Okay? I love
Sterling. Here's my problem, Sterling.
Y'all. Look.
Josh Allen wasn't any good until Jim Kelly said he could be. All right. So in Buffalo, Jim Kelly is the bottom line, right? If Jim Kelly had said he's all right or whatever, he's like he did with all the other quarterbacks we drafted. But when Jim Kelly met Josh Allen, he said, this is the dude.
Let's get
this
to the
is the guy.
Anthony, continued.
This was like, pardon the interruption. I would hit the mute button. John DeFazio coming back again. He says the difference is even the national media wouldn't dare doubt the Bills in the playoffs. #comeback game has never happened since. And there's a place for history. I'm not saying that there's not. All I'm saying is, can we just look, maybe you guys don't want to recognize this, but I'm just telling you right now. Why don't you just sip on it and pray on it a little bit?
We all agreed that Josh Allen is better. I said Josh Allen's going to end his career a way better quarterback than Jim Kelly. We all agreed. The problem is you can't. For some reason, there's fans that can't put Josh Allen up here without pissing on Jim Kelly. That's the problem.
Both are great.
Yeah.
No,
Josh Allen's great, and I'm going to stomp on Jim Kelly while I say he's great. Why do we got to stomp on Jim Kelly? Like, let the man live. He's a Hall of Fame freaking quarterback. Like, let him be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Fair. Yeah.
And the human being he is in Buffalo too, right? That's why he's still got there, because he still means a whole bunch to that community in Buffalo.
I mean, he is the Pope of Buffalo. Okay, Jim Kelly will always be the Pope. Okay, let's get that wrong. All right, but I'm just saying sometimes the Pope, he don't always send blessings. Okay, and all I'm saying is my guy Josh Allen's better, and I'll never not.
It's a different game. It's a different game.
Yeah. I'm just telling all the fans that, it's okay to like 2. You can like 2.
You don't.
Not like 1.
You don't.
I love Jim Kelly.
I don't know, man. You might want to watch the tape back.
Oh my God. Look. Here, look, the comment section is out of control. Anthony's wife. Look, my Tuesday nights would be so boring without the Hoof guys. And girl, you are right. And what we bring to the table, I'm just saying, it's gonna be hard to because this stuff is great. Our content is great. I'm just saying it. I'm just too. You know what? Our show is better than the '90s Bills. How about that?
You got to go look at the '90s Bills shows.
Because I ain't got one. Joe Miller left. That's all right, because he's gonna go get my Bills tickets to the game this weekend. I already know what's up. Look. Guys, I'm just joking.
Yes.
I'm just joking. Fake Bills fan hosting a Bills show. Look, I am just joking, guys. Look, it's okay to say that we're better than the Bills shows of the 90s because they didn't have one, because they barely had TVs. You had to literally put aluminum foil on the damn antenna, so you be sitting over there like, is a picture there? I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, Joe, get your ass back in here. Quit playing with me. All right, next. Can we go to the next?
I put you guys in timeout. That's what I did.
Yeah. You just took a page out of Jay Spence's book. That's what he did. Tua.
Oh man, talk about
3 interceptions.
How bad did you want that 4th interception? How bad did you want to be able to say the dude that came in with 2 tripled his interception count against us? I mean, it's like, come on, man! I wanted that 4th one so bad.
A couple dropped that might have been caught.
Eric, go hit us. Start us off. Tua turn to Balova.
Well, this is what we all had questions about, right? This is why Tua was ranked low on my quarterback rankings for the draft, right? I had Herbert ahead of him, and we just weren't sure if his game would transfer over, and it looks like the decision-making needs some work because the interceptions were bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
one of them looked like
I think you guys agree.
I was like, did they just punt? Oh,
yeah.
That was a pass? No, what happened?
But, like, I feel like the coaching staff put him in this position by not letting him learn earlier, right? By bailing him out with Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, now you have to kick the can down the road, and he's going to have to go through these growing pains. You know, and when it matters, right? And it did matter for them. And here growing pains show up, and we'll see if it carries over to next season. But I'd say he's behind the curve when it comes to development.
115 ain't wrong. You're talking about a dude that ran for 2,000 yards in 14 games.
Listen, bro.
Hey.
Listen, we're not talking about the 60s, dog.
And then he killed his wife.
Let's like talking about the Beatles. And OJ did it. And if I was OJ, I would have done the same damn thing. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. Give me that damn glove. Y'all see my big ass hands? That boy, hey, he know he did it. Y'all know he did it. But that's for another day. All right. But we ain't talking about them damn 60s Bills, okay? Listen, there's something to be said about everything that we're saying right now, right? Like, you guys are making some great points. And Tua, I have not been a great fan of Tua. I'm not a fan. Pre-draft, I said, I don't know how good he can actually be. Now, the jury's still out, but early returns say the Dolphins should be thinking about drafting a quarterback.
Well, I don't know if I go that far. I think it's too early for them. You just invested a 5th overall pick in this kid. You better give him a chance. He better be your savior. Any other organization, if that doesn't work, guess what? You're fired. What happened in Arizona? They started over. They fired the damn guy who drafted him.
And they did, and they're better.
That cost you your job in that case. So you're invested into it, whether you like it or not. Go ahead and draft a quarterback at 3. The Bills would love that, but I don't see that happening. The thing with Tua is exactly what Eric said was right, that they didn't give him the time. They didn't give him the chance. Once you went to Tua, it should have been Tua's job, period. Let him learn in the NFL, just as we did with Josh Allen. Trial by fire. It wasn't always pretty, but the guy learned, and he took a step the next year. We have to give Tua that opportunity too. The Dolphins have to give Tua that opportunity. He's now shown what he can be. He has to move. The problem I have with Tua in this game, we have a super chat.
Comma.
Hold on. Let me mute for you real quick. Hey, look, John, I don't know what your wife do, but I don't know if she's watching you tonight because you are dropping some serious coin, and we appreciate it, okay? But real talk, he says, we fans in the age of 38 to 50, I am not 38, but Joe Miller is probably around 50, are loyal to the Kelly teams, no doubt respect the past. However, we've been waiting for the next level. That dude, see, he's even trendy with this.
That dude.
And we finally got our dude. If you want to throw a little something to, Joe, give me a good 90s show. Back to the Future, 80s. That 80s. Probably be the dude. Yeah, but we got that dude times 3 quarterback, coach, and GM. So he's on board.
It's true.
He's on board.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Yeah, that's the way it should have been, and that's how you build a franchise, right? You start with the coach and quarterback, or coach and GM together usually, and then have them draft their quarterback, develop them. This is literally the story now. Every other team who's not in a position to win right now, these teams that are starting over are going to look at the Bills and say, now we need to do what they did successfully. They totally turned this franchise around. How do we do what the Bills did? How do we get our next Josh Allen? They're not going to get a guy talent-wise like Josh Allen, but how do we develop our quarterback and make him grow like Josh Allen did, right? And that's where I was going with Tua, actually. So this fits in well. Tua has to now grow. The problem I have with Tua in this game specifically is Tua's game, he's not Josh Allen. He ain't going to bomb the ball down the field and complete passes at a huge rate and all of a sudden be this big guy who's evading guys rushing at him. He is a completion percentage quarterback who's going to he'd remind the comp I think of right away is Derek Carr, right? Derek Carr knows how to win some games. He can complete balls. He can throw balls here and there. Tua's a better runner, obviously, and Tua can do a little bit different things. But when you're supposed to be that kind of guy and you throw 3 interceptions and your completion percentage is not that great, what was he? I think 21 out of 45 or something like that. So
he was 60%. He was 60% against the Bills.
And some of that was in the garbage time when they were backing off. So, I mean, it was still not a good performance from Tua on any level, especially to end the season. That's the last you're going to see of him. Hopefully he's a guy like Josh Allen now who says, that left a bad taste in my mouth, and now I'm going to work 10 times harder in this offseason to get better and correct those things. And let's remember, he came in a COVID season where there was no real preseason, where there was no real in-person stuff. So he can learn and grow from that real offseason of, training camp and workouts and all that good stuff. So Tua still has a chance to grow, but was not a good performance for him and not a good taste in the season and not a lot of confidence coming from Miami. Just throw him out there and let him do his thing.
The good news is I didn't get to answer about Tua, so I get a chance, right? So,
well, if Anthony's talking, you might not. Bro.
Well, no, but yeah, they just run on. The sentences run on, and then. That's why I was yelling "comma" in the microphone. In there. I love you, Anthony. You know I love you. So the good news for the Buffalo Bills is, in my opinion, is the fact that Tua is probably going to get a chance to try to fix it, try to correct it, and try to develop. Everybody's on the Josh Allen train. Well, if Josh Allen can develop, then anybody can develop. That's me, mindset, yeah. I think Derek Carr is a bad comp. I think, we talk about arm talent. Yes, Tua in college was a very accurate thrower. I don't think accuracy is arm talent. I think those are two different things. I think Derek Carr has a lot of arm talent. Sure. Granted, he's not maybe the athlete that Tua is, but when you look at the balls that he threw around the yard on Sunday, they were Phillip Rivers-esque. I mean, like floaters, kind of like they were launched out there.
Phillip Rivers-esque, you mean, not like good Phillip
I'm just
Rivers.
saying, just in general, there wasn't a whole lot of hip thrust in them. They were just kind of balls that were thrown. I don't know. I don't remember. I was like excited for the game because I was like, we're finally going to get to see what it's all about. There's an aspect of like watching this kid play other teams, play the Chiefs. The Bills had a bunch of primetime games, so we got to see Tua, but it's never the same until they play your team. And I just wasn't like blown away. And he hit the guy in the left flat real well. He hit the guy in the left flat about 16 times. Like that one he's got down. Like left flat, threw it out there like every single time. But other than that, I didn't see a whole lot of stuff where I was just like, oh, that kid's good. Like Herbert, I watched that kid play and I was like, whoa, this kid's going to be good.
Well,
like real good.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. Go ahead. You got something, Eric?
Well, I was just going to say, everyone's saying be patient because, it's like Josh Allen, we were all be really patient his rookie year. They're saying be patient with Tua. But, I mean, once in a while, Josh's rookie year, you'd see a throw and go, woof. Not a lot of guys can do that, Right. I don't see that with Tua's game.
Agreed.
Not yet, maybe. I mean, some of his accuracy throws inside are better than a lot of people. But I don't think you can stay in this league 10 years just off that.
Skill set and talent goes a long way.
So Tua the leader. I sign off on Tua the leader, right?
Yes.
But Tua, the athletic profile, I'm not sold on. I mean, I know that he has to learn the game to play in the NFL, and that's fair. But when you look how Miami has constructed their roster, they've spent a lot of money in free agency. Okay, and they have a lot of draft picks coming up. So they definitely have the win now mode. That's why they flirted with the whole Ryan Fitzpatrick experience in the first place. Today's NFL says Tua is Drew Brees a long time ago, or a much lighter version of Steve Young. Not even that good. I mean, Steve Young is great. Don't get me wrong. Those are
like two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
You're comparing Tua to Hall of Famers.
No. See, you
like Kirk Cousins, maybe.
No, I'm talking about. Listen. Tua is not Steve Young, but what they share some of the similar things. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, Tua lacks in arm strength, and he will not throw the ball to the right side of the field. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
And
Vince Young, I know Vince Young will never throw the ball to the left side of the field.
That's right.
That's a problem. And you look if context matters, this is what we learned in the Scouting Academy. If context matters, then look at all the first round picks that Tua played with. Look at the defense that Tua had backing him up. Now, again, best conference in college football, but context matters. And look, people say, well, Tua doesn't have an elite wide receiver. Maybe not elite, but Devontae Parker is pretty effing good. And Mike Gesicki is pretty freaking good, and you don't throw it to him. Those are problems. Josh Allen never had that in his first year. He didn't have that luxury. It was all him. I need to see more from Tua.
That actually matches with our super chat here.
Is he dropping more times in here?
Yeah. It kind of matches your point.
Thank you. John DeFazio, that's $50 tonight. My issue with the national media will provide 7 million excuses as to why we should be patient with Tua, but with Josh 1 year?
Yes.
Year one, he was a bust, really? No, I wouldn't say that.
No, but I was on
the train.
I think this is a problem with that. It was the evaluation in the draft, and that's where the difference matters. Most of the draft experts, as we know, thought Allen was a bust and would not be good in the NFL because he didn't play anybody and he couldn't even win at Wyoming and all this stuff. But he had the skill set. Nobody could deny that he could throw the ball harder and faster than any of the quarterbacks coming in the draft. Now with Tua, everybody was high on Tua. Why? Because he did play in the national media spotlight, because he did win national championships, because he was on a successful team. But I agree that is wherein lies the problem. I am not a national scout. But you know what? I am a football fan, and I do watch football games. And the first time I saw Josh Allen play, to Eric's point earlier, Josh Allen was, you were like, holy crap. The wide receivers are walking off the fields going like this because their hands hurt after catching a ball from the guy. And they're like missing the ball because it's coming at them like a laser. And he's overthrowing them because he can throw it so far.
Yep.
That I haven't seen that with Tua. We know he's a good leader, and maybe he's a guy who can turn that into there were people in the chat saying Tyrod Taylor, right?
Hit
That's
JM's comment.
Comparison.
Hit JM's last comment. That's the comp.
Matt, that's a painful one.
Throw Matt Barkley in there too. Throw any USC quarterback in there. They all look the damn same. They're cookie cutter. And here's the deal. The whole let's be honest about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is, we got another look. He's dropping more dimes. Let me do this, and then I'll get to my point.
The Hoof Live brought to you by John DeFazio.
I know. If you want to be our sponsor, you go right ahead. But let's Joe, I'm gonna let you handle this one. Meanwhile, the quarterback guru Palmer goes on national media and states that Josh hasn't even hit his ceiling. So Nick Wright and other experts who couldn't hit a stop sign with the kickball hate to hate. And you are right, sir. Joe, I'm going to give you the floor on that.
No, we were talking about it a little bit before we came on live, just about the fact that that interview. And for those of you that aren't familiar with what John's talking about, One Bills Live, and it's on YouTube. So after you get done with us, jump over to YouTube, the Buffalo Bills page, and it's on there. And Jordan Palmer was on there, and he literally told those guys, he told Brownie and Tasker that like Allen hasn't hit his ceiling yet, and he's got some stuff to work on still. And their faces were like you've got to be kidding me. And I think it's true. I've been hesitant on my show for the last couple weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, to not talk too much about Josh's ceiling because I'm not sure we have seen it. Like there's a great deal that this kid does that's just unbelievable, but I just think there's still room for more. I think he could potentially be an even more accurate passer than he is, specifically on his deeper throws, which will come with timing, with OTAs and whatnot, and preseason games and stuff like that they did not have. I just think this kid's, I don't know, man. Like there's something, and the fact that, and Palmer also gave all the credit to Dable and to the coaching staff, just so everybody knows. Yeah. He's like, I'm getting credit for something I didn't do. He's like, Josh did this, and Dable did this, and McDermott did this. So
no, he has. Look. Let's be real. That man got to say that. He gonna be he gonna play humble, but for sure. And heart of hearts, he's like, hell yeah. Hey, y'all know, y'all see me back here. Yeah. And I want to say about Josh Allen.
He's also got some other quarterbacks working with him that weren't taking.
That's what I was just going to say. He's got a gold bar in one hand and a pile of turd in the other hand. It's like,
Josh Allen he's the outlier. Okay. And my guy Charlie Gross will attest to this. There's a lot of lazy scouting going on, and nobody really knew what Josh Allen was going to be. He was put in a horrible situation. Yes. He wasn't given the opportunity that a lot of top
10,000 reps behind, they said, right?
I think that's I mean, this is
20,000.
If you want to talk about the perfect underdog story, just look at Josh Allen. Okay, he is the epitome of a feel-good story. But it's so cool that the Bills, like, we see other teams get these kind of guys, but that fact that the Bills have this guy is fun, bro.
Here's the problem I have with that part of it. These guys, a lot of it is just they're so attached to their draft analysis or whatever that they don't see with their own eyes what's happening. Because I've been preaching this for 2 seasons now, that All Josh Allen has done is showed us that he can improve and improve and improve. And now he's doing it even faster and even better. And so there's no reason as a scientist, it's like, look, everything, the facts, the data, your own eyes, everything you're seeing is showing you linear growth with this kid. Absolutely leap after leap after leap. So right now, your hypothesis has to be he's going to take another leap next year, as improbable as that seems, because he's gotten so high now. That's literally all he's done is improve, improve, improve. So those guys who came into this scene saying Josh Allen's somehow reached his ceiling, that's just ignorance. Every single year he's gotten better. Why would you not think that he would suddenly reach a peak and not get better? Like everything he's done I'm talking from college all the way through, from junior college into college. Then as he got to the NFL, I mean, it's just step after step after step with him. So I could see why Jordan Palmer believes that.
We need to let the guys like Nick Wright off the hook a little bit. So in these panel shows, the times that I've done some panel shows like this, I mean, you're always looking for guys to take different sides. So there's actually conversation. We can't all get on here and agree. Nick Wright is a huge Chiefs fan. I'm sure he feels the threat of Josh Allen a little bit, but he's also paid to be the negative guy.
He doesn't care about what we think.
In my opinion, he's not PFF. There's Aaron Schatz. There's guys out there that have signed the apology letter that literally were just talking trash to talk trash, and they just wanted to trash. They wanted their projection to be right, and that's all that it was. Nick Wright is just talking because that's what he's paid to do. Like, I guarantee you
about the Nick Wright thing. Clearly, he's just looking for clicks. But yes, he made that bet with Colin Cowherd on the ketchup and mustard thing, and I was pissed off. You know why? Because you don't deserve that treatment from Bills Mafia. You don't deserve the ketchup and mustard, buddy. You can go home and cry, wear a diaper on TV or something. You don't deserve the Bills Mafia treatment of the ketchup and mustard.
Meanwhile, we talk about them.
Can I get some Miracle Whip, some relish or something?
It works.
The biggest thing about all the pundits and guys still show up on Twitter now and say, because the conversation, the narrative has changed, not officially, but is really close to changing on Josh Allen. But there's so many people now that are on Twitter, they're just like, well, nobody knew he was going to jump this far. And it was like, if you watched his games last year, you knew that there was something there. Sorry, Sterles, I keep jumping on top of you. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. You didn't give me any tickets anyway, so I understand.
There's more games coming. You know that, right?
Nah. Yeah, I don't think so. Hey, but Joe freaking Miller in the
What's
house.
Up?
Just so y'all know, Joe's in the house with us tonight, and we love having you on the show, Joe.
Appreciate it.
Let's talk now. Let's move. We talked about the quarterback and the ceiling. We all have our opinions on Josh Allen and what his status and what his prospects could be. Let's talk about what's in front of us right now, and that's this playoff game against the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we're going to end our show on tonight, because first of all, we haven't been here in a long time. It's been a very long time since the Bills have been this good.
1991.
Hosting a playoff game, which only 6,700 and whoever Joe Miller knows, because he's going to be there.
I'll be there.
I'm not, but he's going to be in attendance so he can spread his wings and just take in the air.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Joe Miller better not be able to talk after this game. All right, I don't want any.
Hang on a second. I'm a professional vocalist. I can't scream too much. So Sterles knows what I'm talking about. This is how I earn my living, and it's not through this hobby of talking in this microphone. It's from singing. So I gotta be careful.
All you gotta do is your 1/6700th. All right, that's all.
Listen, there's throat coat, there's tea and honey, baby. Joe knows what I'm talking about. So let's talk about this game, though. When I look, first of all, let me go into this. So when I looked at a couple Colts games, I'm not done with my evaluation of them. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really paid attention to the Colts this year. I do love Jonathan Taylor. I wish the Bills would have drafted him, but that's for another topic, another day. When I look at this Colts team, there's nothing that scares me. I mean, they got DeForest Buckner, and he's great. And they're mean in the trenches. Okay, they're mean in the trenches, which I appreciate. But in the playoffs, what? Now this is not a trick question. I'm going to ask each of you guys real quick, and don't, Anthony, just give me the answer. Give me the baby, not the birth pains, and we're going to keep moving. Okay.
It's the after stuff. It's the what's it called when you have the depression afterwards?
Great. He's great. He's a doctor, so he gives us like everything. I don't need it. I just need the one thing.
He bursts the baby, and then you got 5 minutes of postpartum depression afterwards. It's like It's not the birth pains. That ain't the problem. I love you, Anthony. You know it.
Hey, we gotta bust your chops, Anthony, because Anthony's on everybody's show. I mean, he's a hot commodity, apparently.
Yeah.
What is the most important characteristic, in your guys' opinion? We'll start with Eric. You go first, Anthony next, and then Joe Miller. You finish. What is the most important characteristic that you guys would say is a characteristic of a playoff team?
Scoring points.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I went back and looked after our conversation about running the ball versus passing the ball, whatever, right? And look, if you just do what you're good at, all right, and if the team can stop it, you figure out what else you can do, and if they don't, you win the playoff game. So, and I think that's exactly what the Bills have to do against this team. I don't think the Colts secondary can match up with the Bills receivers. So there's no reason to really get off your game plan all that much. I'd say that the harder game plan is the defense and trying to stop Jonathan Taylor, right? This offensive line is good, and I think they're going to try to get out here and run the ball. I mean, we know Phillip Rivers is not going to be comfortable in the cold.
Good.
You know, after how many years in Southern California, he don't know what Buffalo cold is.
No.
Right, so that's just my initial thoughts. I'll leave a little meat on the bone for you guys.
All right, go ahead, Anthony.
The word that came to mind for me was perseverance, because it's playoff time. It's a totally new season. Yes, I agree. Play to your strengths. All of what Eric said makes sense. But now you're in a new scenario, right? Last year we played Houston, and they persevered against us. We did not persevere against them. We had the lead. They said, "All right, we're going to stay calm. We're okay with this. We know what we're going to do." And it didn't work out for our Buffalo Bills in that game. Now, and you think of other teams too. You could go to Super Bowl winning teams. Kansas City. How many times were they down by 14 points or more last playoffs? And you know what? They said, "We don't care. We can still do this. We have the confidence. We're going to persevere. We knew this is playoff time. It's time to nut up or shut up. Let's go. We can do this." And same thing when the Patriots were down in the Falcons against the Falcons, right? They know what they're doing. So perseverance is the number one thing. Any team that's going to be successful in the playoffs, for me, that's what you need.
Hey, okay. I appreciate that. Hold on, Randy Hardman. Bruh, how you going to do me like that, dog? buddy, Nick's. I've never taken a nap on this show.
Your voice is almost
you got that southern accent.
I got that southern accent, bro.
I'm just like him.
I just want a scat back named CJ Spiller. We got 3 other running backs in the room, but we're gonna add another. Listen, I'm T-Pain. I'm Big Daddy. I mean, yeah, you guys give me names.
Girls for the girls.
The girls, my favorite. But here's the deal, though, Joe.
I was gonna say, do I get to go?
You get to go. You get a chance today.
I know that I blend in with my background with the black and my white face and the white and the B, like it's the white with the red. But yeah, for me, it's another P word, alliteration aside, and it's personality. There's a great deal of I talked all season long about, and even in preseason, that this football team has the roster and has the talent to just line up and punch the other guy in the face across the line of scrimmage and just be who you are. And we saw them nerd around. That's the market dominator, everybody. So that's my guy over there, market dominator. So if you've got, I was about to do my open for the show, brought to you by the market dominator. But if you've got the guys to just line up and smash people in the face, and because you're that much more talented than the guys on the other side of the line of scrimmage, then that's what you do. And we saw this team for a very long time early in the season, still kind of toying around with the whole, okay, what are they going to do against us, and how are we going to beat them? Versus, you know what? We're just going to go out there and be who we are, and we're going to crush you with who we are. To Eric's point against it, I would say this: let them run the ball all they want. Why? Because freaking Jonathan Taylor rushed for 257 yards, and they almost lost to the Jaguars. Derrick Henry rushed for 260 yards, and they almost lost to the Texans. Run the ball all you want. We're going to score 40.
Yeah, and our defense is not either of those two teams, as we know.
What'd you say, Eric?
What up, Sean?
Oh, that's your cousin. Hey, Sean.
Hey.
So personality is my word. Be who you are. Dance with the one who brung you.
So I love you guys. All 3 of you guys made great. I love your analysis on that, and I think you guys are right. There's parts of that you could take from each and every one of you. I think unity is probably the best thing, because I heard Ray Lewis say one time, and is that, if your defense isn't together, where you it's like you don't have to think, you guys are just in such unison, like you're gonna do great things. And we saw that with that defense. And when I when I look at this Bills defense, they have a togetherness about them. Matt Milano playing great, AJ Klein, and you look at the defensive line, they're playing really good football right now. Their run fits, and I mean, you can go here, and here, and be like, okay, this is a recipe for disaster for other teams. Oh, yeah. The Bills, it's not the Bills' offense that's going to take them to new heights, because we've seen traditionally, historically, it is the defensive play that takes you to the Super Bowls. And the fact that, just think about it this way, how good does it feel to have a GM and head coach that know that's why they spent all that money on the defensive line? Now, we know that they're not performing as much as they're getting paid to do, but what they're doing is so significant right now. Okay. And that defense is really good. And I think we've been seeing evidences of that. I think that the Bills are third in takeaways in the league with 26 or 27 takeaways. 26 takeaways. That's a big deal. That is a very big deal coming into the playoffs. Now, this defense has gotten hot mid-season, and they've kind of kept it going on. They kind of fixed things as
they went from 29 to 10.
Yeah, ninth in pass defense. They're ninth in pass defense.
Getting hot at the right time, right?
Yeah. The defense is what's going to carry us to the Super Bowl, and the offense is going to win the damn Super Bowl.
Right. Yep.
And that's how we have to think as fans and guys on the couch and as analysts or whatever you want to call us. It's the Bills defense. And so when we look at this matchup coming up, we have a really good Colts offensive line. Quentin Nelson spearheads the offensive line. They spent some heavy assets on the offensive line, and they're really good. This is a physical punch you in the mouth kind of a team. Defensively, on the defensive line, they are really good, and you have a really good middle linebacker that backs all that up. So it's gonna be interesting to see how all that plays out. But one thing I will tell you from the Bills' point of view is that I've never seen a Bills team adjust to chaos in a game. The Bills do a very good job of noticing tendencies, and they make changes, not just at halftime, but after the first quarter. Look at the Miami Dolphins game.
Yep.
Look at the Pittsburgh game. They make changes, and I'm telling you right now, the Bills have one of the best coaching staffs. And I think you alluded to this, Joe, earlier in the show, in the league. I'm telling you, look, it's so easy to go through Bills history and look at, okay, they lost this game, they lost the Houston game, and they, so forth. But I'm telling you, erase all the memory that you have of the Bills history and look at it from what have you done for me lately? What are you doing for me right now? And what they're doing for us right now says everything that you're saying, Joe, and that you guys are alluding to, that the Bills are going to smash the freaking Colts on Saturday.
To complement your word of unity, I wanted to bring this up tonight. The letter from Deion Dawkins, the Players Tribune letter, part 2 from Deion Dawkins that was out today. If you have not read that article, every single Bills fan in the world needs to read that article. Every single sports fan in the world should read that article, because it gives you the insight into what's really going on with this team and what their mindset was in the preseason. He talks about the Diggs trade, all that. It's just an emotional roller coaster for Bills fans, because you feel the words he's saying. Everything we felt, they get it. You already schno. They schno, all right? Because he tells you, man.
That might be trademarked.
It's preached. They preach it. And he preaches it there, and you could feel it. I mean, reading that as a Bills fan, you can truly feel his words, because this is a united team, and they are ready for this playoffs. And man, they feel all of Bills Mafia, and they channel us in these games. And I can't wait to see it on the field on Saturday afternoon.
UNITY.
There you go.
What are you calling
that? Hey. I'm old.
Hey, Joe, on a real note, and Anthony, that is a fantastic point, and thank you for bringing up that Deion Dawkins article. Joe, you know how this works, where people are unified together. Things that you can do as an organization or as a team.
Synergy.
Yeah, Joe, speak to me on that, bro.
Well, I mean, obviously it's different in different areas, but I mean that everything that Deion Dawkins talked about in that letter was basically, he didn't say it, but it literally comes down from the top, and that's culture, and that's leadership, and that's being led the right way. And what resurfaced this week after this football game and all the pressers was be the best version of ourselves, which kind of got quiet there for a couple weeks or a couple months, kind of through the middle of the season. This coaching staff and the leaders in this room, as far as, when you're talking about Sean McDermott and the coaches, They say things, they mean what they say, and they follow it up and they back it up. And they're genuine and they love their players and their players love them. And there's something to be said for just leadership principles. And I've read a lot of books, and I know that Sean McDermott, just from the things he says, has read a lot of the same books that I've read. So all of that starts at the top. As much as there's a radio station in town that trashes leadership and culture and stuff like that, it's a very, very real thing. You've got to have good culture. You've got to have good leadership. You can have all the talent in the world, and if you don't have good culture and good leadership, it means nothing. And that's what they've got. They've got it in spades right now.
Y'all better listen to him. Joe Miller's spitting facts. My guy's spitting facts down there. And look, when Sean McDermott was hired, we all laughed. Well, we all didn't, but the national media was like, oh yeah, it's what kind of the culture, and he's trying to do all, and look at it now. It's a full-grown man.
It's real.
Woman, or whatever you want to call it these days. It's real. And the Bills, they've been preaching this from day one, that they have this love for each other. They do so many activities together outside of football. That kind of stuff matters in today. And so when I look at this matchup against the Colts, right, there are some things that the Bills are going to capitalize on defensively. Like, for instance, the Colts are terrible in third down situations. They're terrible. Oh yeah, they're in the low 30 percentage when it comes to converting on third downs. And why is that?
In the league.
Why is that? It's because in third and medium or third and long, exactly. You're banking on Phillip Rivers to make a play for you. Now I don't know if you guys know this, but we have All-Pro cornerback and Trey White that's going to lock down T.Y. Hilton, and you can give me Pascal and whoever the hell you want to throw out there, but they're going to get shut down this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get shut down. Yeah. And Phillip Rivers doesn't have the arm strength. And Joe and all you guys mentioned, that win in Buffalo ain't no joke.
Well, it's not
going to be cold.
It's not even just that those wide receivers are going to get shut down. They're going to get shut down one-on-one, which is going to allow you to bring the pressure on Phillip Rivers and stop the run and focus on the run, because they don't have, a top wide receiver who's this needs to be double team threat, right? They just don't have that kind of threat, which means with our backfield, which is one of the best in football, you let them do their thing. You four guys do your thing, and you could still bring pressure with one of the safeties if you wanted to, because you have that much faith in these guys.
I think what doesn't get talked about a lot as well when it comes to Trey in this game specifically, and I'll talk about it in my preview pod that'll come out on Saturday against Phillip Rivers. What has always made Phillip Rivers great is not his arm strength; it's his ability to anticipate and get the ball out really early. So like the ball's in the air way before any defender feels like it should be. And Trey White makes a living keeping his eyes on the quarterback. Like every other defender defends the receiver and kind of watches what his hips are doing, where he's going. And you watch Trey go down the field the whole time with his eyes looking right at the quarterback. And if Phil lets that ball go early, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
And the reason why he's able to do that is because he is magnificent when it comes to watching film and learning tendencies. That's what it's about. Look, man, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't do the things that you're supposed to do on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday leading up to a game, you're not going to be what you need to be. And Sean McDermott preaches 1/11th.
1/11th.
Remember that as we go into Saturday, 1/11th, whether it's on offense or defense, do what you're supposed to do, and we're going to be okay. John DeFazio, again, look, Kobe, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Short break.
If you haven't read it, I know. If you haven't read it, you really should, because I know there's a lot to talk about offense and the flashy things. But what the Bills have really put together in terms of unity and leadership and togetherness, it's in this book.
There's better ones out there. To be honest with you, Above the Line by Urban Meyer is the best leadership book I've ever written. Or I've ever read, rather. I've ever read. You cannot like Urban Meyer all you want. I'm not an Urban Meyer fan either, but that book is money.
It sounds like you are, but from Ohio, you're drinking a Kool-Aid.
I can give you a bunch, good to great. I can give you a bunch of leadership books.
I'll sign off on that, but Urban, get out of here.
Trust me, buy Above the Line right now. Best
I'll buy it and I'll read it. Just because
best book you'll ever read.
You
can even skip the football.
McDermott's book come out.
All right.
He ain't gonna write a book.
He doesn't.
I'm telling you,
reveal his secrets.
McDermott has read Above the Line by Urban Meyer. I promise you.
Because he's gonna be too busy winning Super Bowls.
He's also read The Servant. I promise you, he's also read The Servant. He's also read a bunch of John Maxwell's books. So
John Maxwell's a shit, bro.
Yeah,
I ain't read John Maxwell. Read him. Okay, so here's a question that keeps coming up. let Beasley rest this weekend, or is Beasley playing?
He'll play.
I don't think he's going to play this weekend.
He's ready.
He's going to play.
If he's 60%, you play him. He's
going to play.
Here's the deal. Here's my opinion on that.
He plays.
Eric, do you got something to say on Beasley? What are your thoughts?
I think you need him for the divisional round. So, I'm looking up his injury right now on the Bills website.
I don't think we had an update.
Did he practice today?
No.
Okay, so I don't know. If it's up to me, if it's a close call on his injury, I say don't play him, because I think the matchup is favorable already for the Bills. Do any of us think this isn't going to be a blowout game?
I don't know. It's a playoff, so it could go either way.
29, and 30 against very good defenses.
You need Beasley moving forward. We're going to need him for Pittsburgh and Kansas City. I say rest him. Just my thoughts, but
if he's not ready, they'll rest him. They'll make the right decision either way.
Now, some of you guys' opinion, if Beasley can dress, let him dress and let him go out there and just run a couple routes. Just kind of get them thinking, okay, Beasley's on the field now. Like we gotta account for this. That would be great too, But if I had to choose, I'd say Beasley's ready for the divisional round, because you're gonna have a stiffer competition next round. It could be the Ravens, it could be the Steelers that we're looking against, right? It could be. Those things are kind of important.
I'm happy that we drew the Colts. I think getting the Colts week 1 is best case scenario.
Yeah, we talked about this 6 weeks ago when we did playoff scenarios.
Look, you're not going to have to worry about Baltimore or Tennessee. One of those teams will be eliminated, and that's good news to me. Both those teams are hot, and I don't want to play a running team out the gate. I want to see Josh Allen take over a game, win the playoff game, get it out of the way, so you can focus on the divisional round, and we'll go from there. But drawing the Colts is a huge win for this team. Getting that 2 seed was more important than I thought going in.
So let me tell you.
Remember the talk from the preseason? One of the things I said was the Bills would get the number 2 seed. That was my prediction, but also because it's the first year ever that the number 2 seed doesn't get a bye. So you have to play
it's such a Bills move. Right?
Naturally, yeah.
We're gonna get to our predictions on the game before we head off here. But there's first of all 3 of you guys have been killing it tonight, and I appreciate all of the time.
You're welcome.
Joe Miller raised the bar. That's all.
Joe Miller raised the bar. Voice, whatever you want to call him, that guy who doesn't get voice, who doesn't let you buy Bills tickets off of him, and that guy.
You can't sell him. You can't sell him.
Well, you can't sell him, but you can sell him. But that's okay.
But you can give them away.
You can give them away too.
You can't give them away either.
Hey, I'm just a poor black child, bro. Just a poor black child. Y'all ever see that? Girls. That shit's hilarious. It's hilarious. No, but one of the things that really makes me feel better about our situation moving forward is what Josh Allen had to say about taking that L last year in the playoffs. I don't know if you guys have got a chance to. I'm not going to quote it because I don't know it, verbatim. But basically, it's what happened last year is it sticks with him to this day, and he hasn't forgot it. And when you look, context matters. When you look at the context of Josh Allen. We all probably can agree that when that dude says something, it's real. And he knows what's at stake this weekend. And he's not going to come in there like we seen old Josh Allen skip, this oh my God. He's going to come in here like an assassin. Deion Dawkins in his letter talked about the things that has happened this season and that why Josh Allen is the most valuable player. Maybe not to the world's eyes, but into locker room, he's that MVP.
The 2 plays he brought up for that too. No Bills fan in the world would have figured out the 2 plays that Deion Dawkins called the most important plays. The Hail Murray, what? We lost that game. What? That was the most important. Why? Because the very next game they had against the Chargers, his second play was the spike after the Josh Allen touchdown or the spin of the ball after the Josh Allen touchdown, saying we're here and we mean it and we're ready to punch it in the face. And that's the energy they brought. That was an incredible article, and that's only one piece of it.
Joe, they getting on you, bro.
Oh yeah, we're good. Me and Travis are good. He was just giving me a hard time.
Oh, I know, but I have to point that out.
I came into the show Joe freaking Miller. I told you I was coming in with a different personality. Right. So
got the energy.
No, Joe, you're great. Okay, so my God.
Was that good or was that bad?
Yeah. No, that's not the Texas. Oh, bless your heart. That's not great.
Yeah.
So we got Kyle Pop. This is probably Bryce Pop's son.
I was just going to say.
How about Colts fans sending money to Patricia Allen Fund for the Bills helping them into playoffs? So this is my turn to do the super chat on this one. It's pretty damn cool, but they took a page out of our book, okay?
Yeah.
But, look.
Take it.
Nice things is always great, man. To move humanity forward, no matter what is at stake, no matter what's going on, we should be doing great things for other people around us, especially those who are in need. So I saw that and I was like, that's great, but we still gonna kick your ass this weekend.
Talk to me after the game.
Coming for you. We're coming for you.
That's right.
But no, it's totally cool, man. And thank you, Kyle. I haven't seen you on our show before, but thank you for supporting us. We really do appreciate it. And watching the show, man. I know we can get a little crazy and talk all kinds of craziness, but we do appreciate it.
How appropriate is it that the team we're facing is the Colts for two reasons? One, obviously, Frank Reich is their coach, right? And he's got a lot of love for Buffalo. He's like, oh, I'm not supporting you this weekend, but I got a lot of love for Buffalo otherwise. And we feel the same exact way. After the game, we're going to hug that guy, and the crowd's going to be cheering for Frank Reich, I hope. So, because we've won the game. So, I mean, there's so much of a connection there, but also the connection to the AFC East. The first time the Bills have swept the AFC East. Ever. And shout out to Jay Spence for saying this on his show today. That got me thinking about this. And the Colts won the division, the AFC East, sooner other than this year, before the last team won it more recent than the Buffalo Bills have in the past 99.
Yep.
And now we get to face them in the playoffs as, okay, now we truly have swept the AFC East of old, gotten rid of all the skeletons in the closet, beaten the guy who we love in Frank Reich as a coach and as a leader and the quarterback that he was for us. It's coming full circle for this team.
All right, so as we round out the show, let's give our quick, because we're running out of time here, let's give our quick predictions for the game. Eric, I'll start with you. Anthony will go to you next. Joe will finish with you. Prediction.
Bold prediction.
Yep. Not score, bold prediction. Okay. Done. Let's move.
All right, I'll go. I'm gonna go 31-17 Bills, and I'll go. Matt Milano gets 2 interceptions.
Nice.
Okay, wow. That's a bold prediction.
I'm going 31-13, and I think Phillip Rivers gets sacked 4 times and has at least 2 turnovers.
Joe?
38-24 Buffalo. Jonathan Taylor has 3 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Ugh. I don't like that.
We won. We win the football game.
Yeah, but I don't like
how ugly it is.
I'll go 30. I'll go 34-10 on that one, and I'm gonna say.
How the heck did they get to 34?
Don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah, no, 34 is logical.
Yeah.
34, 31, 28, 28, 25, 20, 22, 19.
Don't worry about it, okay?
4 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
That could be the 19 crimes talking, but don't you worry about it.
Yeah, 28, yeah.
Listen, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm going to say Josh Allen is going to throw for 350 on that.
Oh, I got that. Yeah, I'll give you that for sure.
Yeah. And Eric comes in. He says 4 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Thank you very much. That's how you get that. Okay.
Eric, math is hard.
Okay. But anyway, man, thank you guys for everybody that came out and supported us tonight, man. We really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe. Look, the Hoof Podcast, the Hoof Live Cover 1, this is what we do. But before we get out of here, Joe, why don't you tell us what you got going on and how people can follow you?
Dude, it's about to get crazy up in here. So, so after this show, so first of all, I'm the host for those of you that don't know, and I see a lot of familiar names in the chat too, which is awesome. I'm the host of the Overreaction Sports Podcast on the Buffalo Fanatics Podcast Network, brought to you by the Market Dominator, who is in the chat tonight, John Spascheck. My show airs on Mondays post-game. This week it'll actually air on Sunday post-game. I also do a preview pod that previews a game that's coming up. I'm also the host of the Hump Day Hotline, which is on the Buffalo Fanatics Multicast Network on Wednesday nights, 9:00 right here on YouTube. I'm supposed to be recording with John Fina, the Off Tackle with John Fina show right now, but this show has gone long. So John's waiting for the 3 of you, just so you guys know that. That'll actually drop probably if not tomorrow, then Thursday on the Buffalo Fanatics Podcast Network. And the guy that I'm taking to the football game, Jay Spence, and I are going to do some collabs this weekend. So there's going to be some exclusive content that's going to come out from Jay Spence and I this weekend leading up to the Bills game. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on for me.
Two things. When does the preview show drop? Because the game is Saturday. Usually it's on Saturday, right?
It'll come out Friday night, probably around 9-10 o'clock in the evening, depending on when I get around to recording, and then it'll be available Saturday pregame for sure.
And tell John Fina I said what's up. He hung out with us here in Denver for a game this year, and
John is awesome.
That was actually the Arizona game. One of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet.
Yeah, he is a ton of fun. Like, he is a lot of fun. His whole family's great. Yeah. So and by the way, for those of you that have not been paying attention on Twitter, if the Bills win the Super Bowl, there's a party at my house. John's going through a table.
Yes,
he's committed. He's committed to it. So
he ain't inviting none of us, but
me and Eric already got our invites.
They got their invites. They got sent.
Yeah, somewhere.
Stir for the girls. You know I love you.
Dude, hey, and for those of y'all, look, Joe's my guy. And I give Joe shit all the time. That's
all the time.
That's what we do. Okay, all day, every day. That's what we do. So it's all love. There's no animosity there. Those of you are too serious about it. But anyway,
that's what you think. I'm just kidding.
hey, thank you guys for listening to the show. Thanks
for having me.
3 of you for being on top of things and just giving your personality, your heart to all this. It's really fun. And by all means, guys, those of you who are new to the show, man, please like and subscribe.
Yes.
Share the show with your friends because we love the attention. We love the likes and everything, but we're trying to provide great content. So,
and the super chats.
And the super chats have been amazing tonight. But
brought to you by John
DeFazio.
DeFazio. Okay. Look, you guys have a great night, man. Hug those who are near and dear to you, and let's go Bills. We got a banger on Saturday, baby, and we out of here.
Go Bills.
Go